So folks, a lot of you ask what rifle, what scope, and what ammo we use on these hunts. And on this hunt you just saw with Bruce Pettet from Leupold, I'm going to show you what we used, and I'm going to compare it to what we used on the Montana elk hunt you saw. And I have the Leupold Ace expert with me today, Tim Lesser, the VP of Product Development. And we're going to talk a little bit about this setup we have and the scope and everything else. But real quickly, you usually see me carrying this really lightweight mountain rifle. This is the Howa Alpine mountain rifle, and this was in a 308. Bruce wanted to use something a little bit bigger, and you can see there's a difference. This is the Howa Model 1500, and this one here is my own rifle. Bruce has his own rifle. His is a 338. This is a 300 Win Mag. You can see it's a pretty beefy, stout rifle, because you start shooting 300 Win Mags, 338s, you want something like that to be there. Ammo-wise, Bruce was using a 250 grain Accubon Nosler. This is a Nosler 200 grain Accubon. Or wait, what do I have? No, I got 180s here. You can always tell it's got that nice little white polymer tip right there. And now we're gonna let Tim be the expert on what this is, but right here, and you guys hear me talk about them all the time, you see me use them all the time. This is the VX6.
Yep, this is a VX6, it's a 3-18. This one happens to have the 50 millimeter objective. We also make this in a 44 if you want to mount it a little bit lower. This particular setup right here is my favorite. 3 power is low enough for any of the close stuff that you're going to see, in the timber, in aspen thickets, things like that. But then if you need to take a longer shot, you've got enough magnification to see through that little window. In this episode, you had a pretty tight window to shoot through.
Very tight window, and Bruce dialed that thing up, and I hit the rangefinder, and it's kind of a downhill angle. And with the TBR rangefinder, it came back 404 yards. And this is, again, the beauty of, for me, when I say for me, I'm almost saying that because maybe I'm lazy, maybe I'm not that smart, but Leupold makes the coolest, easiest to use system for guys like me. It's your CDS system.
Yep.
And I don't know if you can read this dial here, but it says 300 Win Mag, 180 grain Nosler Accubon. And you go and put it through the chrono, and you tell them how many feet per second, what your average altitude is, what your average temperature is, what you want for MOA, and it's this simple. So if you see that dial right now, that's set at 100. That's where this is zeroed. You can have your dial zeroed at 100 or at 200. And when I told Bruce it was 400, all he did was spin the dial to the 4 and hold that on. And you saw in the episode, that was, it was like he shot that thing from 2 yards away. It was an absolute, well, it came in this side and it came out right there. And then the other shot, the bull kind of turned and he drilled that thing right down here and it came out right there. It was, if ever we've had an episode, Tim, that showed how slick this system works with pretty much any caliber under any condition.
It's a great episode to illustrate that. It's something that we see in the field constantly. When I've hunted with you in the past, it takes that guesswork out of it, where all you have to do is really focus on your breathing, trying to get your heart under control when you finally do get that shot. I sometimes struggle with that, but if the crosshairs are where you want the bullet to go, this takes care of the rest, and that's just a big portion of making sure that it's a nice clean shot, right. Everything that we want out of a good hunt.
That makes for a good ending to a TV show.
It does. It helps. Helps a lot.
So that's what we use, folks. Like I said, many times you might see me with the 308 and the mountain rifle, but sometimes you see us with the larger calibers, and those will be the Howa 1500s. And every time it's got one of the Leupold scopes. Some of our smaller rifles might have a VX3i on it. This one's got a VX6, and like Tim said, this is a 3-18.
Yep.
this mountain rifle right here, because you want it to be a little lighter weight. This is a 2-12, and this is a 42. Are these 42? 42 millimeters. This is 50. So anyhow, that's what we use, and we happen to shoot a few elk with these setups. So thanks for watching.